Next on Worcester News tonight, severe storms rumble through central Mass. We'll have a look at some of the conditions. Plus, moose on the loose. See how one wild animal made its way through the streets of Worcester. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Andrioli. A series of thunderstorms bringing heavy winds, rain, and hail to the area this afternoon. Some spots seeing pea-sized hail cover the streets. Here's a look at the conditions earlier tonight. Heavy rain and hail created some hazardous driving conditions. Both Worcester and Spencer saw large amounts of hail. The Spencer Fire Department tweeted this picture. As you can see, it was messy outside the station, but it did end up clearing up around 8:30 this evening. As you can see, this rainbow had a nice touch over Worcester. We'll have more on the forecast later on in the show. Today is PTSD, or Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder Awareness Day. Several organizations around central Massachusetts are working to help veterans battling PTSD. Our Chandler Walsh has the details.
Central Mass Yoga and Wellness offers classes for all levels, including one for veterans to help treat post-traumatic stress disorder. The mental health problem affects servicemen and women who experience a life-threatening event.
We use positive affirmations along with the yoga postures, and we do a lot of slow and dynamic movements that help relax the nervous system.
About 30 veterans take Lucy Samini's Yoga Warriors classes in West Boylston. Yoga Warriors is just one service for people suffering from PTSD in the area. The Worcester Vet Center offers individual and group counseling. They have more than 10,000 visits a year, but want to increase that number.
The veterans that do come here, which is not enough of the veterans in Central Mass that should come here, I think they see the value.
Bruce Ware served in the military as a medic. He's now the outreach specialist at the Vet Center. When he found himself falling victim to PTSD, he says counseling is what saved him.
After I got help, things started breaking down a little bit, but the ghosts are always there. You just learn how to cope with them.
If you're a veteran looking for some assistance, the Worcester Vet Center offers services to vets and their family members from the Vietnam War on. They're located in this building here at 255 Park Avenue, and their phone number is 508-753-7902. In Worcester, I'm Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester City Councilors holding an annual review tonight for City Manager Ed Augustus, and the manager receiving high praise from most of City Council. Councilors weighed in on some of the work the administration has done. Job creation, programs like Recreation Worcester, and energy efficient schools were some of the topics discussed. City Councilor Christian King commends the city manager's dedication to adding resources to youth programs and the Worcester Public Schools during his time on the job.
School safety is paramount, and he understood the importance of making sure that we have social workers that can de-escalate and work with kids in the midst of trauma. The emphasis that he's put on youth jobs. We're the highest employer in terms of youth in the city, and that's a public safety measure in addition to allowing kids the opportunity to better themselves and to gain life skills.
Augustus received high marks from the 9 city councilors, including Mayor Joe Petty. Councilors Michael Gaffney and Constantina Luke's evaluations were more critical of the manager's leadership. A new service from Worcester Regional Airport to Cape Cod aims to help travelers beat the summer traffic, and the CEO of the company operating the flight says the service is beginning just in time for the holiday weekend. Our Brittany Schaefer was at the ribbon-cutting ceremony and has more.
The flight is from Worcester to Hyannis, and the flight itself should only take about 20 to 25 minutes. A ribbon cutting celebrates the beginning of a new flight service from Worcester to Cape Cod. One-way tickets start at $150, and the first flight takes off this Thursday.
And we talk about a way to avoid traffic. It seems like we're celebrating a lot of new things happening here because people believe in Worcester. They're investing here.
Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito was at Tuesday's event. She says this new service will be an economic boost for the city.
This will lead to more jobs and opportunities as business travelers think about locating their businesses in places like the Worcester area.
Worcester Regional Airport is an economic engine, and certainly we've seen that since Massport took ownership in 2010, with Rectrix coming, with JetBlue coming and expanding flights. So this is, I think, more good news.
Rectrix operates the service. CEO Richard Cawley says this will be a seasonal service to allow passengers to beat the heavy weekend traffic.
You could be there, you know, sitting at home, in your second home on the Cape, 6:30 at night with your family instead of sitting on Route 495. The market is there, we just have to create it.
Cawley says safety is their #1 priority.
It's a King Air 300, 9 passengers, 2 pilots, prop planes, very safe, and that's where we put a lot of our money into safety. They're never 99% safe, you're always 100% safe.
Now, the departing flight from Worcester to Hyannis are Thursday and Friday nights. The returning flights are Sunday night and Monday morning. Cawley says this is the perfect weekend summer getaway. In Worcester, Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
The family of Molly Bish releasing a new video today on the 17th anniversary of her disappearance.
Molly said, "Goodbye, I love you," and ran off. It was her 8th day on her new job as a lifeguard. That was the last time I saw or heard from my Molly.
Bish was 16 when she disappeared from Coleman's Pond in Warren on June 27, 2000. 3 years later, her remains were found 5 miles away. Investigators believe she was abducted and killed, but no one has ever been charged in her death. In the video, Bish's mother speaks directly to the abductor about the day Bish disappeared. It ends with an appeal for anyone with information about the case to come forward. This month, Bish's family searched a former campground in West Brookfield for possible evidence. The results have not come back yet. Also tonight, we've learned the state education commissioner has died. Mitchell Chester was the commissioner of elementary and secondary education for all of Massachusetts. Chester died last night following a cancer battle. The 65-year-old had served as commissioner since 2008. In a statement, Governor Charlie Baker called Chester a, quote, dedicated educator and accomplished public servant. Massachusetts environmental police say it's common to see moose in the area, but residents don't often see one in the city. But today they did, before officers safely immobilized the animal near Institute Park. Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
Residents at Salisbury Estates in Worcester saw quite the scene Tuesday morning.
He was walking around.
A moose was on the loose, making its way around Worcester until she was caught by authorities.
I think it's cool, and it was probably swimming in the pond.
Massachusetts environmental police immobilized the animal. They wrapped her eyes and put cotton in her ears to calm her down. The Worcester Fire Department brought ice to the animal to help regulate her temperature.
He was wobbling, and so he kind of went over there and fell down.
The Massachusetts environmental police say the female was about 1.5 years old. They say earlier in the day she was in the Institute Park pond. They say they've been chasing moose for decades around Worcester County, and the animals can be very dangerous to the public. But for spectators, it was something to see.
Well, since I've never seen one in my whole life, I think it's pretty cool.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
The 4th of July is right around the corner, and one local organization has begun celebrating. The American Antiquarian Society in Worcester reenacted the signing of the Declaration of Independence today. The 40-minute performance went over in the document in its entirety as actors dressed in costume. They read through the piece, and volunteers at the reading say it's important for citizens to remember the Declaration even 240 years later.
Civic engagement for ourselves. We can't be complacent about this declaration. We in our towns today can take the lead from people in their towns back in 1776.
There are 6 scheduled performances in the state. The next readings in central Massachusetts will take place at Old Sturbridge Village, July 1st through the 4th. Exhibits at the Ecotarium in Worcester are expected to expand within the next year thanks to grant money from the Yonke Foundation. $500,000 will be put towards Phase 2 of the Wildcat Station. The exhibit will span nearly an acre of land and include things like a mountain lion exhibit and wildlife care. The building, the Ecotarium, is more than 190 years old. This project is part of their 3rd Century Plan campaign.
And that will re-energize a section of the museum that has been underutilized in the past Our old polar bear exhibit will be transformed into a 2-story mountain lion exhibit with viewing stations for kids and families. There'll be an educational plaza as well that will help us serve more of the school groups that we have coming through.
And the remaining $100,000 will be put towards supporting ongoing operations.